Do you feel as if it's your duty or your privilege, or both actually, to let your ill or elderly parents come and live with you if they can't look after themselves at home anymore? Do give us a call, 0207 862 2222. That's the number. Do get in touch. Today is the start of Carers Week. That's why we're talking about this, and it's an annual campaign to raise awareness of the millions of people in this country looking after family and loved ones. There are almost 6 million unpaid carers in the UK, and more often than not, Labour falls to women. A large number of them are what is known as sandwich carers, so they're looking after their own children at the same time as looking after disabled or elderly relatives. Maybe you feel as if you have no choice but to do this. Maybe it's the best thing in your life. It's the only way you would want to behave. Maybe you would just feel guilty putting your parents in a care home, or maybe you've had no choice at all on this one. 0207 862 2222. Obviously, it's incredibly important, Penny, isn't it, to acknowledge the great debt that we all feel to carers who save us an enormous amount of money apart from everything else, but B, the huge burden that it is on so many people.
And it is, and survey after survey shows how many people who are caring for elderly or disabled parents feel alone and stressed, and they have and are having a very difficult time, because you have to accept that these things, when we talk about care, sometimes it's things like going and helping with shopping or other things, but there are other quite intimate things that need to happen as well. And if you have a busy life and then you've got a parent, the parent might feel guilty as well. I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this. It's okay. And if all your time is taken up with caring for, particularly as we're talking about with the sandwich generation, it is. I think conversations are the only thing to have a conversation with parents as well. When you're talking about caring.
Conversations are all very well, but actually, a great deal of the brunt of this, Sam, is enormously physically demanding and just kind of punishing in terms of the relentlessness of it, because it goes on day in, day out, and it's exhausting. It's incredibly demanding. It's very hard for everybody. And you're quite right, Penny. The elderly person or the disabled person and the person doing the caring, in every way, it's a hell of a thing, isn't it?
Well, I have nothing but absolute respect for people who do it full time. My mum, Netta, who's incredible and luckily has had a happy ending to the story, had an accident about 10 years ago and came and lived with me for about 7 months. So I cleared out my front room with all my rubbish and I brought a bed down there. And my mum, who's stoicism personified, like the best house guest ever. But it is hard and we are super close. But I was a sandwich, maybe a BLT, I'm not sure. So looking after my son, going to work.
If I were to talk to her, to Netta, and I wish I could, I'd love to have her on the show, actually.
Mum, call in. She's watching.
Call in. Go on, please do call in. I'd love to talk to you. What do you think she would have said about having to come and move into your front room? I bet she wasn't keen, was she?
Well, of course she wasn't, because she's very private and also very resilient and one of the most incredible, strong, brilliant women you could ever meet in your entire lifetime. But equally, I know she was very grateful because she saw, without me, I hope, showing it too much, but she saw how hard I work without my mum staying, and my cooking is shit, so she had to...
So sorry, my cooking is bad.
She said something. My cooking is poor. My cooking is poor. So, it's arduous on her, and she was in physical pain, and we're very close, so it was my privilege to do it, but it was hard work for both of us.
Just a line, JJ.
I was going to say, culturally, for me, African parents, we would always have to take our parents when they get older. That's how we've been raised. And it's the same with a lot of Asian communities as well. Intergenerational living, that's just the basics of it. There'd be no question of who can take them.
But would it mostly be the woman who was looking after the...
Well, no, it's a family effort. You might have 5 grandkids living with you. It could be Vanessa and her daughters and the children all in one home. That's how we just do things.
And in a way, how wonderful.
Yeah.
In a way, just how great to have everybody there and everyone just having the same food and having the same environment. How lovely. Let's go straight to Wendy. Wendy's in London. Oh, Wendy, you had your mum living with you for 22 years. How was it?
Wonderful.
Was it?
My children grew up with her in their lives. It was very, very special. And then also my father-in-law had lived with us before. So it was very much a family, what we took on as a role as a family. And my boys just adored their grandparents. They had wonderful experiences with them. And it was a privilege, really a privilege. But also my mum was a volunteer in a care home.
Wow.
So she sort of saw, and she would come home and say, I was with the old dears. She was 80 at the time, but she was amazing. But it was a very, very, very big privilege for us to to have them as part of our lives.
And are you surprised by the number of families who don't do that? Because obviously in this country it's not really the norm anymore. It's unusual rather than usual, isn't it?
I don't think I'm surprised, because I understand how difficult it could be, and when she was ill and looking after her was hard. But I think from a family point of view, I think it was very important for us to look after our elderly parents.
Yes. Did she ever say anything, Wendy, about being in your home rather than her own home? Because 22 years is a very long time indeed. Did she ever miss the kind of autonomy of just having your own house where you do your own things in your own time, in your own way?
She could do that as well. I mean, we built a flat for her.
Oh, I see.
So she had all of her lovely things around her. And if she wanted to come and bake a cake, or she wasn't the best cook, but she was a fantastic baker. So she was quite happy for me to cook.
Yeah.
But to sit round every meal and share things, and she shared with my boys all their wonderful things, all the things they did. It was very important. But also volunteering in a care home, I understand how that is as well.
Oh, she sounds like a thoroughly lovely person. She sounds like she really was amusing and amazing and great. Wendy, thank you so much for ringing. Let's go to Nora in East Sussex. Oh, Nora, similar thing. Your mum lived with you until she sadly passed away. How was that for the two of you?
Hi, Vanessa. Yeah, it was fabulous. I love my mum. I was very close to her. I'm the youngest of 6 children she had. She was 88. She lived on her own. She was a bit lonely. So my lovely husband, who's sadly also passed away since then, he and I discussed it and agreed that it was time that we looked after her. And I think what people forget is it's for the rest of their life. It's not for the rest of your life. Yeah. And also, I think we overlook what our parents have given up. She had a home. She was married to my father over 40 years, so she gave up an awful lot as well. But it worked. We were very, very happy, the three of us, living together. Just wish it had been longer. And I think that people forget that their parents do so much for them, and it's in the whole scheme of things, it's such a short period of time sometimes that you're with them, looking after them. But I was very happy to do it.
I liked it when you said we were so happy, the three of us together. We were just happy. They were just enjoying life together. Nora, how is it for you now? Because with both of them passed, it must feel like a very strange world for you, does it?
We didn't have children, so I am on my own. Obviously, it's not the life I expected or the life that I chose. My husband was only 67 when he passed away, but I've just got on with my life. I keep myself busy. I play walking netball. I'm retired now. I play walking netball. I play pickleball. I've got a lovely circle of friends. So I keep busy and make the most of what I've got.
Great attitude. I bet you got that from your mum. Really nice to talk to you. Let's go to Andrew in Oxfordshire. Andrew, you don't see that happening with you, going to move in with your children, your adult children?
I hope not.
Why do you say that? Why?
I'm fiercely independent. And it's to my detriment at times, I know that. But I've got complex medical needs, and I would not inflict that upon my children.
So do you have carers visit you to help you with the complex medical needs at the moment?
I have a carer come in the morning to help me get out of bed and get me ready.
And you'd rather it was a professional stranger, or obviously they're probably friends now, but somebody who does it for a living than your children. You prefer it that way?
Actually, the lady that comes to me came to my mother here in the same house. Gosh, so that's a proper relationship then with someone who really cares for generations of your family.
Well, I mean, it's just that she's local. I've lived here around this area for all my life.
Yes.
So, yeah, I suppose so. So you can relate to each other in that way.
Yeah. Have your adult children, ever suggested you move in?
No.
Well, thank you so much for ringing. Let's go to Janet in Hampshire. Hi, Janet.
Hello.
Hello,
Vanessa.
Nice to talk to you. Tell me about your children and the idea of moving in.
Right. Well, yes, my dad my mum died a long while ago. My dad tried to live on his own for, well, a good few months, and it didn't work. And my husband said, I can't stand this, really. You know, watching him like this, it was painful and sad. So he moved in with us. He had his own bedroom downstairs and a small living room, and it worked perfectly. And he lived for 19 years with us.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and
amazing.
were there any sort of adjustment periods? Because so far all our callers amazingly are saying it was wonderful and we loved it, we were very happy and it was nice. It makes it sound so effortless. Was it effortless or did it take a while to get used to it?
No, absolutely effortless for us because my dad was amazing. We loved him so much. And, you know, we just couldn't live with ourselves letting him, you know, suffer and be so sad. We just couldn't have gone on with our lives leaving him like that. So, yeah, it was amazing. It worked so well. I've got 2 kids. They were very small. And he just taught them everything because he was so patient. I mean, he was that sort of generation. He'd been in the war, very calm and gentle, and taught them everything, really. He taught my son to wallpaper and do all things like this, plant runner beans, you know, things which he wouldn't have got otherwise, really. And he was a great
What would you say, Janet, to anybody watching who's thinking, should we do this? Shouldn't we do this? Will it work? Won't it work? What would you say?
Well, I would say do it, but I mean, I understand not everybody's relationships are like this. I mean, the amount of people I had who were slightly jealous, I think, that I was able to do it and it worked. A lot of my friends used to say, oh, I could never do it. I don't know how you could do it. It's not good for your marriage, etc., you know, things like this. And I think they sort of try to demean what I was doing in that way sometimes. Really.
Well, I think what you did was quite clearly a most magnificent thing, and also your husband's obviously a thoroughly decent gentleman who couldn't stand the idea of your father being sad and lonely and stepped in. I think it's fabulous. Thank you so much for the call, Janet.